Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Andrea Bailey Brown, and I'm here continuing our Summer of Profit series. Now, if you're in Canada and watching, we had our Canada Day long weekend and all of our festivities, so there's quite a bit that was happening, and I hope you had a chance to go out and celebrate this great and amazing country that we live in. And so I'm back today on Tuesday for our Summer of Profit series, and I will be here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I run these series Monday to Friday, and if you don't catch them live, you can catch them on the replay. And you can also feel free to ask me questions that you have about your profit, and I'll be happy to answer them when we talk. So today I wanted to talk to you about what are some of the KPIs or the key profit indicators that you could use to tell you, or key performance indicators that you can use to see how well your business is operating and how you're doing in terms of growing your business and making it more profitable. So the first one we're going to be talking about, one of the indicators that you could use, which is your sales. So this one is usually a bit of an easier one because some people, you'll have systems in your business that actually tracks this, where you can see how much your sales is growing, or how much you made for the month, or what your sales numbers were. So most people usually try to keep an eye on this one. But another part that you need to look at is the growth of your sales as well, year over year. So if you had 100,000 in sales one year and the next year you're at 200,000 and then 500, you can easily see how your business is progressing, and you can tell that the product that you're selling is actually resonating with your customers because they're continuing to buy more and your numbers are going up. So that's a really, really good indicator. And on that performance index as well, if your sales are stagnating year over year, you're seeing decline, or you're not really seeing growth, that's a real indicator as to what's happening in your business. So I was talking to a client over the weekend, and they were saying that for the last few years, because of a tough economy, their sales have been decreasing. And we were looking at why that's happening and what they can actually do to increase some of those sales in the business. Because during tough economic times, this is our time for us to become more innovative. And I find the companies that are really doing well in a down economy are the ones that become more innovative during those times. So the second indicator that you can actually look at is your customer growth. That is how many new customers are you getting, and is your business actually growing? So again, if you had 100 customers last year and you find that you now have 102 customers, the same customers, and those numbers are not really growing, that is another way to indicate where you are on your pathway or on your path to profit. So looking at your customer numbers and your customer retention, are you actually losing customers, or are you adding more customers? So those that's a really good indicator for you to look at, because sometimes what happens is our customers, they may move away. Unfortunately, sometimes they pass away, but sometimes they are going to the competitor. So if they're moving on to the competitor, what can you do to make sure that you are actually keeping your customers? Now, how much money are you actually making in your business? So the fact that you have sales, as we know, revenues does not mean that all of that belongs to you, because we have expenses, you have employees, you have utilities, you have the government, they need their taxes for sure. So you have to make sure that what you're looking at is how much actual cash flow do you have from that. So again, revenues minus all your expenses, then what's left over is your profit. So make sure that you're looking to see how much of the actual money that you're making that you are actually keeping. Now, when you look at another growth method, I would say that you should look at your email list. If you're collecting an email list, or if you haven't started to do that in your business, make sure you're doing that. So many companies, I would say, they are now moving to collecting email lists, because ultimately that is one of the things that you will own yourself. No matter what company you're with, whether you are in a bricks and mortar, a direct sales company, are service-based, I would really encourage you to start collecting your own email, to start developing and collecting your own email list, because that's the one thing that you actually will own yourself. If your company decides that they're going out of business, well, what exactly do you have? And if you have your customers' names and that email list, you can actually use it and remarket it. Many of the large companies right now, you will notice when you go into some of those stores, they're asking you, how would you like your receipt? Well, I know we're all trying to save the environment and it's all about the paper, but behind that, they're really trying to now start collecting all your emails so that they can actually market to you in their own way and on their own time. So as you're looking at growing, I would encourage you to make sure that you are collecting your own email list and looking at what part of your company infrastructure that you actually own in the process. Now, if you're looking at a digital campaign and you're looking at the social media side, I would encourage you to, another way to determine, is my company or is my business growing, is through the number of followers that you have. And in the digital side, you can look at how many followers you have from when you started. Also, engagement is a really big part of it. You may have, you'll see some accounts, they have thousands of followers, but the engagement is not actually there. And that's where some of the algorithms have changed to say, because they've realized some people are actually buying followers to make their company and their brand look bigger than it is. But it's the engagement side. Are your customers speaking to you? And when they actually speak to you, are you there to respond to them? So I've seen some accounts, when we look at business accounts and do an audit on their social media side and social media strategies, there are certain things that we're finding is that people are not actually speaking back to their customers. In the old days, or not necessarily the old days, but when we had traditional marketing, which is like the billboard or the bench or the bus, when you see the bus drive by and it has all the advertising on the side of it, back then it was just a one-way conversation. Marketers or companies would speak to us, but we had nothing to say to them. We had not a real way of saying, we like this ad, or we don't like it, or this worked for me, that's the reason I buy. Now in the social side, our customers can actually we can speak to our customers, but we need to make sure that when they speak to us, we are answering and we're actually engaging with them. So one way to look at your key performance indicator is actually how many of your customers are speaking to you and they're interacting, and making sure that you are also engaged with them and not just leaving all these comments hanging and never ever respond or say something back to your customers or to your clients. And the sixth one I would say is, we talk about followers and feedback, is the higher the engagement it is for your customers, the much better it is for you overall. So making sure that there is some feedback from your customers. If they're saying to you, we really love when you do a certain thing, we like this product, we'd like to see more of it, then I'd really encourage you to make sure that you're listening to those feedback and using that to improve the services that you offer, or any other part of your customer service that's not working. I think those feedback is really just an indication for us as to what are some of the things that we're doing right in our business, but we have to make sure we create a system and a way that our customers can actually tell us how we're doing. And again, in traditional marketing, you might see some companies would give you a form to say to fill out, or we still see those. We see them in hotels or certain places. How did we do? At restaurants, they have those. And the reason they have those is purely for them to really improve their services. So if you don't have any format to talk to your customers, to find out how your products or your services, how they're resonating, I would encourage you to make sure that you come up with something. So when we look again back at the KPIs, key performance indicators, to help you realize if you're on the path to profit, we talked about your sales. Is it increasing? Is it staying the same year over year? Are you seeing explosive growth? How many customers do you have? If you started with 10 customers and you're at 100, 1,000, 2,000, you can actually tell if your company is actually growing. And in some companies, when they're looking at acquisition and takeover, they really look at this number. How many customers do you currently have? Because the the cost of acquiring a customer can be very expensive in some businesses. And we also look at money. How much money is a company making? Do you have any cash flow? What is your burn rate like? Are you going through your cash really quickly? So making sure that there's some form of cash flow for you to invest back in your business. Your email list, collecting, making sure it's growing. Your followers, especially in a digital strategy. I believe if you're in business and you don't have a social piece, I don't know if you really are in business anymore, because the market has really shifted. And feedback, making sure you're developing ways that you can actually talk to your customers and that they can talk to you. And the benefit of that is it's just helping you to become a better business owner. So those are my top tips today for key performance indicators for growing your business. I can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow. We're going to have another exciting topic. So come back here for our Summer of Profit series, and we'll continue to help you build a more profitable business, because the goal at Bailey Brown Business Consulting is to help you to become financially independent through your business. Because I've seen too many entrepreneurs, they're running a business, but they're not able to make a living, to feed their family, to help their community. That's what I'm passionate about, and that's why I'm here, helping you build a more profitable business. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Now have a great day. Bye-bye.